Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I think this is a further continuance of the last thing that we got from Ryan Coogler. I think more information is just coming out of that.
Sure.
Is that the case?
I don't know if it was the same article, but it's different nuggets that are dropping now about the script, where it was supposed to go in Black Panther 2, and what led to him not recasting.
Sure. And so, I mean, the biggest thing that I got from it is that, you know, he had views against recasting. He had the opportunity to do so and said, nah.
Yeah, so the first thing was the script, obviously, and what it was going to be. It was going to end up being a T'Challa story. Surprise, surprise! And his reacclimating back to life after the 5-year blip. But the I don't get much from the individual quotes from the things that they tell us here. They're trying to make it sound as virtuous as they possibly can. The things that continue to be a thing to me, like an alert, is every time I hear something that's not consistent with what they tell me. And essentially, anytime someone else talks about this, it gets less consistent. Because here we are talking about how you had already finished a script about T'Challa leading this movie and how he was going to be going through this, that, and trying to reacclimate and blase skip. But I thought the Panther wasn't dead, and it's about a mantle, and it was always meant to be passed on, and that's what happens in the comics, and what happened to all that shit? My boy, you wrote a whole script about T'Challa. Like, why is it so hard for people to just tell the truth? Like, I get where a lot of recast T'Challa folk that are still, you know, trying to stick up for Ryan and you know, take his grief to account. And hey, look, that's a human thing. It to my estimation is what they counted on, but it's a very human thing to feel for him in this instance. But if you want me to believe it, stop lying. Stop lying. Stop telling me that Black Panther is about a mantle. That's a lie. I said it when Letitia Wright said it. I said it when who's your boy? Light skin VP. Nate Moore. When Nate Moore continues to say it, right? Like, I mean, Nate. it's funny because anybody who actually cares about it can see the lie. 2018, oh, T'Challa, gotta be T'Challa. T'Challa popular, movie good. 2022, it's always been about a mantle. And we really think that the passing of the mantle is what's really important here now. And it's really always been that way because they passed the mantle in the comics, right? Fam, y'all sent Zero from Holes over here to give us y'all's lame ass corporate response. Once again, you can't convince me. It's been like 20 black people that gave the same answer on this out of Disney Marvel so far. Am I dumb, or did y'all find the one black monolith in all of Hollywood? Y'all found the one black monolith in all of the world. All these different black people from different backgrounds, different countries of origin, different upbringings. Got them all saying the same exact thing, huh? Oh, that sounds like a company that's in line, right?
It's even worse to hear white people echo the same thing on Twitter.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb to think that every single one of those people feel the exact same way about how this historical character is being represented now. I will give Ryan the credit to say that he must have read some of Black Panther to even be able to put that movie together. But it's like, you're lying to yourself and me if you're telling me it's about a mantle. If you're telling me that T'Challa inherited a throne. No, fam. No. You know, it's stuff like that. That literally did not happen. He didn't inherit anything. Now, if you're trying to remember some of the heart-shaped herb stuff that you are, you know, demolishing in these last two movies, then yeah, that is something that only a chosen few can withstand and keep within their bloodstream. But the Black Panther mantle, the suit, the powers that is earned. It's not given. It's not passed down. Do you not know, or are you lying to support the narrative that you're putting? I would much rather say that this goes in line with the messaging of the movie and the direction that you were going on, to say that you just don't know. I would rather that be the case. But it's the inconsistency that keeps me from being able to get on board with the, just let them do it because they was too sad to do anything else. You got people that are involved with the production and their hypocrisy, and these are people, y'all. They are people, and just as well as they can show grief and sadness, they can show greed and selfishness as well. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And when you start mixing and matching explanations to come up with a conclusion that is verifiably wrong, in that Black Panther is about a mantle, what am I left to say about that?
It is annoying as a person who didn't read the comics, and somebody who can admit that they have not read the comics, and that there is information that I don't know, but I can at least refer to people who have read the comics. It's annoying to see other people not admit
that they don't know what they're talking about, but nobody does that.
I know.
Nobody does that.
I know.
That's why. Remember way back when we were doing Bel Air, right? And I'm trying to come up with predictions. That shit was so fun for me. But we would always get people in there and be like, "Hey, hold on now. Your prediction, you're going to be let down again. You're going to be let down." I'm like, bro, number one, we're talking about a television show. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But just in general, I am not afraid to come back up here and say that I was wrong about something. I do not have this idea that everything that goes through my mind that seems right has to be right. You're not right about everything, which leads me to my next point about what was said in this interview. When they talked about his opportunity to recast the character and how, he just couldn't come to that conclusion. Right? And he didn't feel like if he didn't believe in it, that he would be able to do it effectively or do it right. Mm-hmm. If he didn't care about it or believe in it, or the cast and crew didn't care about it and believe in it, then it wouldn't have came out right. Yeah. That's another one of those nuggets of truth that's surrounded in bull, right? Because if that's the case, that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we call a clear and present bias. Because now you are admitting, even though it could have been the better direction for the film overall, and we know that because that's the script that you wrote, you will do something in spite of that to make you feel better. You will do something that is not advantageous to the franchise because it was more comfortable for you and the people that you worked with. When did we start holding the comfort of the production, cast, and crew over the product? When did that become a thing ever?
Especially when we could have held off on this movie if we felt like that was going to be the case.
It's another inconsistency, right? It's like we couldn't do this any other way, but we had to do it though. Like within this next 2 years, we had to do this shit. Like I mean, we still gotta get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody wants to.
We still gotta get paid. And if we're saying, well, damn, Marcus, it's a lot of working class people that's involved in these productions, lighting, makeup, costume design, all them people make regular salaries. Ryan Coogler does not have to be the director of Black Panther 2. If your uncomfortability with the direction of, why do I keep trying to make that a word?
Discomfort.
If your discomfort is taking you in a direction that is against the proper direction of the franchise as set by the Marvel standard of lead casting roles that they have put upon themselves. This is not anything that I'm making up. There is a standard arc for MCU lead characters that every MCU lead character has gotten to this point. So let's go away from that and honor our friend by retiring that character, because that's what feels true to me and the people in the cast. I promise that probably sounded so beautiful to everyone in the room. And that's the problem. You don't make movies for everyone in the room. You make movies for the millions of people that are going to give you their $9.95 to go see it. Period. I told y'all once before, the emotion doesn't even matter in that race. If we're just talking fiscal responsibility to your shareholders, trying to clear the bar off of what had to be a $500 million plus budget, if you include the advertisements, they're probably more than that. You have a fiduciary responsibility to clear those expenses, not to make yourself feel better through the movie that you're creating, not to give yourself catharsis. Because here out in the public, while you were writing and rewriting and deciding to write the oldest black superhero out of the MCU permanently, we were literally grieving Chadwick Boseman. His family was grieving him in real life. It happened 2 years ago, Ryan. So I understand you might be caught up in it because you are writing the project. But that's not how everyone else around you is going to feel about it. On top of the fact that no film franchise has been successful with replacing their lead in the sequel. No superhero franchise can claim that, ever. Now, I mean, it just sounds like it wasn't the best decision for him to do this movie. You didn't direct Creed 3. Why Black Panther? No one would have said anything to you or about you. They probably would have still brought you back to do the Wakanda series, if that ever happens. Probably still would have brought you back to do Black Panther 3 if you chose to. Because you know what the director in your stead would have done? I ain't gonna break the wheel. I'm just keep it going.
And then that probably would have given you enough time to grieve and
not have to make a movie about your friend in the immediate after of his death. In the immediate aftermath of his death. And yet you chose to. And then you proceeded to do what was best for you and the people around you, and not what was best for the audience. I cannot let that go, because what it results in is probably the worst racial trope in any major film studio that I've seen. Well, that's probably steep, because I'm not taking into account a lot of film history in that. I'm not taking into account a lot of film history in that. So I won't go that far. But in recent history, for sure. Since we've entered the MCU, it's by far the worst racial trope that I've seen.
But it's in Ryan Coogler's wheelhouse.
But it's not just him.
Sure.
It ain't just Ryan Coogler. It's not. You got Monica Rambeau, who's now mother and fatherless. She's an orphan, right? Mom died during the blip. Father was never even in the picture or acknowledged. Heimdall. The same time we find out that he has a son, he's appearing in the afterlife. Obviously, all the stuff with T'Chaka and Jobu.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. If they're not killing a black father, they just don't give the black guy children or even a relationship.
Yeah.
So all of that can't be laid at Ryan Coogler's feet. What can be is that you continue to push that envelope forward. You continue to push that idea of us being a black man in America that had a mother and a father. That is what I can't get over with him. I can't let that go. No matter who likes the movie. Because if that's who you gonna be, I gotta leave you alone, bro. I got to. And I gotta start talking about you like Tyler Perry. What would be the difference at that point? I'm not saying he's Tyler Perry now, but I'm saying if this is all you are ever going to be, is the worst parts of the black experience in America through through beautiful cinematography and an awesome score. If that's all you're ever gonna be, I'm not messing with that.
Yeah.
Because there's more. There's more, Ryan. There is more to us as a people in this country. That's just my thoughts on it, man. Tell us what you thought about Coogler's interview and what he had to say about his reasoning around not recasting T'Challa. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Come back next week for more content.
Absolutely, and make sure you check out our Recast T'Challa playlist full of news about Wakanda Forever and just things going on with the movement as a whole. And make sure you subscribe, because the more news we get about this information, more news we get about Wakanda Forever and whatnot, we'll be sure to keep you in tune.